CRM Audio presents Captain Redlaces Power BI Corner with Business Solutions MVP Scott Sewell. You give us 10 minutes, we'll give you Power BI. Welcome, Scott. Welcome to episode 2 of Captain Redlaces Power BI Corner.
Excellent.
So, tell me this: are you in the holiday mood now? You got your Christmas tree up and everything?
Yeah, it's great being in the city. I mean, we had the Thanksgiving Day parade, and the city kind of lights. I live in New York City, and it kind of New York kind of does Christmas pretty nicely. So it's a good time. Good time to be here.
Yeah, you're probably the person I know who gets their Christmas tree up the earliest. Why is that?
Well, my wife travels for work, and so she said, she's only going to be home for all told in the holiday months. She's only going to be home for less than a week. It seems like, and so she decided if we were going to have a Christmas tree, she wanted to enjoy it. So we put ours up before Halloween. So
one thing I noticed this year was, I always every year have people on Facebook or people I know complain about, Christmas decorations going up too early. I didn't see anything about that this year. I think everybody was so obsessed by the election that they forgot to complain about that.
I think so, but I have to take pride in the fact that we beat Walmart and Walgreens and everybody to their Christmas decorations. We've had ours up that long, so it's been good. Anyway.
All right. So do you have maybe a holiday gift for everybody and a great Power BI tip?
Holiday gift. So let's talk real briefly what's new in the world of CRM plus Power BI. Last month, I guess back in end of October, 1st of November, we saw Power BI rev their adapter for CRM. A couple things we saw in it is that they changed the branding to Dynamics 365. So now no longer does it say, connect to online Microsoft Dynamics CRM, and it says Dynamics 365, which I don't know that was a big deal, but it was just kind of cute to see that change.
When I'm presenting, the new brand is Dynamics 365.
Right.
I know, but you have that happen?
Yeah, absolutely.
That happens every day to me now, so I'll say Dynamics 365. Yeah.
So the other thing that we saw is an improved performance against large schemas. Now, again, I'm talking about the schema, not necessarily the number of records in the data. For instance, in Joel, you and I work together, and in our own production CRM, I actually had to look it up today, and there are over 500 entities in that environment, if you include system entities and custom entities. As a result,
and I think I built about 325 of those.
I didn't say that. I wasn't going to call anybody out on that. But as a result, up until, if you tried CRM, try to connect Power BI to CRM at that point, you would get a timeout error. They've gone back and made some improvements against that. So if you have a large implementation with maybe you've installed click dimensions, core motives, field service, or all of the above, you will now be able to connect to that schema. It's a little bit better. One thing to note that is there's a little bit of a disconnect, and maybe we'll talk about it in a future episode, but there's a disconnect between the old CRM Odata source and the new web API, the web instance web API is the right term for it. And the old one is based on the CRM, the Odata 2.0 format, and the new one's based on the 4.0 format. When I've been in customer conversations with Microsoft there, we've gotten word from Microsoft that, yep, the new instance Odata feed can potentially be 10 times faster, and it's effective up to hundreds of thousands of records, whereas the old one was 50,000 plus records. Now, that's what I'm hearing, but my experience is different, and I don't know if you want to know more about that, but there is a little bit of difference. The Dynamics, the adapter still references the old Odata format. And at this point, my testing says use the old format for now. And then we'll look at a new format. Hopefully we'll see a revision soon. So that's what's new there.
Okay, so basically there's a new OData feed, but the connector can't use it yet.
It can, but what I found was, for instance, in my case, I was pointing to an account table. I might as well just give you the full background on it. I pointed to an account table. This account table has 30,000 some odd accounts in it. Not too big. It's got a lot of custom fields in it, so it's got a lot of data. I pointed to that table with the with the new adapter, and it would take it. Actually, I timed it at 6 minutes and 45 seconds to download that query. And in the process, it downloaded 230 megabytes of data as it pulled that table down. And I was only asking for the accounts that had been created in the current week, and I only wanted the account ID and the name of those accounts. So 2 fields. It still took it 6 minutes 45 seconds and took 200 and returned 230 megabytes. I switched it around and tried it with the old Odata 2.0 query. Asked for exactly the same data, the account ID and the name of the account for records that have been created in the current week. So identical data sets. Using the old style, it took 9 seconds and it only downloaded 2.92 kilobytes. So dramatic difference.
What explains the difference in size there?
What it looks like to me, and I don't, of course, I don't have access to the code directly, is what it looks like is with the new OData 4.0 connector, it's returning the entire account table and then removing the fields, the records in the fields that you're not interested in. With the old adapter, it appears that the filter that you've added to in Power BI, that filter is actually being passed on over to CRM, and as a result, CRM is filtering that at the source, only returning you the fields and records that you're interested in. So it's a matter of where where that filter is taking place, either at the server, which seems like the old style is doing right now, or locally on your desktop, which is what the new version looks like it's doing. Now,
okay,
I will qualify that and say that's what it looks like it's doing right now. I think that is a bug, and I think that has to change. The Microsoft messaging is that use the new style, but at the moment, performance-wise, it's terrible.
Okay.
So,
okay,
anyway.
well, good to know. And actually, the other day, you helped me out with the URL issue with Power BI as well, recall, because I was trying it out and it wasn't working. So I called Scott, my local Power BI expert, and said, Scott, what's going on here? I can't figure this out. It was working a few minutes ago. Now it won't work. And he replied, you mistyped the URL, idiot.
I didn't say idiot.
You left an R out.
if you spell organization
without the R,
or with a British spelling of organization, it'll throw it off.
Yeah, the Neil Benson spelling.
The Neil Benson spelling, or misspelling, as we should say. So that's what we're seeing on those two. So within that, basically take a look at those two areas and test out the way you connect and use the old style right now. And
so where do you get the new style URL? Is that in the developer tools in Dynamics 365 or
right?
Like
so if you open up CRM, if you open up CRM and you go to customizations and then point to developer resources, there is the instance web API, and it's HTTPS, and it's got your organization name .api.crm.dynamics.com, and so it has that organization.api.crm, so you'll spot it that way. The old one just has the organization.crm, so it leaves out that API. Now there's other changes off to the end of it, but what's interesting is the old one, if you go into CRM 2016 online right now, you don't even see the old style query listed there. However, if you open the adapter in Power BI, it gives you the example, and the example follows the old style. So just follow their example and go with that.
Okay, great. I'm gonna go check that out. Thanks, Scott.
Thanks, man. Have a great holiday season.
Yeah, talk to you later.